I'm Billiam, and we are the Digi-Dudes! Okay, guys, I have a super awesome, super special episode today. Here, we are going to be rebuilding and restoring a Nightmare Soldier Pendulum, the OG one here. So, right before we get into all that stuff, I've got a bunch of little things we got to do. First of all, squad update. The only thing I have going right now is my Deep Sabers Pendulum. And I've got Digimon here. He's super cool. I like him. Definitely digging this device. This is the first run I've done on my Deep Sabers here. I did a little bit of cleaning up on it and a little bit of restoring it. Just general maintenance stuff. And a little bit of work here. This one and my Nightmare Soldier I have are actually from a friend of mine, Henry. He sent them to me, and I love them. I was so appreciative, so thankful once again. I know I've already told you before, but once again, my friend, thank you very much for that. I'm having a blast with this one, and I ran into some issues with my Nightmare Soldier one. So I'm going to throw that up right here for you guys to see. As you can see there, it had some sun damage on the screen, which I'm like, okay, I knew that. He told me that when he was giving it to me. I'm like, no big deal. I've looked into online and talked to some people in the Discords there on how to fix that. There is a way. So I'm like, okay, not a big deal. But I was so excited, I wanted to run it anyway. So I started it up, and while using it there, I was never able to get my mega hit. So I'm like, okay, maybe the connections just need cleaned. If I'm going to open it up anyway to swap out not to swap the screen, but to repair the screen, I might as well clean everything while I'm in there is my plan. So I wanted to get it up and running as fast as possible. So I took it apart, and then I had realized that it had been repaired at some point. And it kind of fell apart on me there. As you guys can see right here are some pictures of what it looked like before on the inside. The shell was broken and was repaired. There was another spot, if you guys can see up there, a little red piece of circular that was actually part of the shell too, where the screw goes in, that had fallen out when I had taken it apart there. So he had told me that this one was his brother's, and they've had it for so long, and he gave it to me. It had a lot of cool value, sentimental value to him, and that he was nice enough to give it to me. I really wanted to restore this one. So I've been hunting down parts. I've been in contact with people all over the place. I was able to get a broken pendulum that I was able to use for parts. Instead of trying to repair the screen, I'm just going to swap the screen on it. I got the new pendulum mechanisms I needed, and I got in contact with a guy through Alex, and I Digi-Dudes, he has suggested me, after talking to him and telling him I'm trying to find somebody where I can buy a shell from, or try to get a shell that matches mine there to get a replacement for it. He said, hey, why don't you check out this guy on Instagram? I love his work, Electronic Days. And I'm like, okay, let me hit him up. So I saw that there's an Etsy shop there, and I saw him on Instagram. So I hit him up through Instagram there, and he was a super awesome guy. And while talking to him, we have our one-of-a-kind Digi-Dudes shell he made for us. This guy does stellar work. He does some amazing shells for Tamas, Digimon, all different makes and models. I'll be having some up here, as you guys probably know by now, flashing up there that he does. It's just out of this world, the stuff he does. I highly recommend going to check him out on Instagram, Electronic Days, and hitting him up on Etsy. I'll have links to all of his stuff down in the description down there for you guys. And Devi-Dude hasn't seen the final result yet. Devi-Dude and I talked about it back and forth. We talked about it with him, with what he can do, what we wanted. We made and designed this shell ourselves, Devi-Dude and I together. You remember doing that, right, buddy?
Yeah.
So he hasn't seen the final result yet on how it came. So this is it. This actually came bubble wrapped, packed inside of a bubble mailer, and then inside everything came packaged inside plastic too. Super well package. This guy does amazing work on the shells, Thomas, all of his stuff, and even the packaging. This thing felt super secure, and like nothing was going to get damaged in there. So let's do the reveal right now.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here it is. Boom! This is our one-of-a-kind, custom. Let's turn the light on again to really get a good look at it. One-of-a-kind, custom Digi-Dudes shell. What do you think?
Awesome!
We were talking about how we wanted to do... Oh, that's our little connector piece up there. How we wanted to do a black and red fade here. A nice metallic black fading into it. And, well, metallic red, I mean, fading into black. And I think it came out absolutely stellar. I don't even think this camera does this justice. And we were talking about it, Devi-Dude and I, and we decided we were going to go with black buttons, which he made the buttons himself too. Here, and then we were talking about how we wanted to go with a red frame to go with the shell, and he thought maybe black might look awesome. So then he had sent the black with it because he thought it would be cool. In which I agree. The black and the red both look good, but I think the black ends up really setting it off a lot more. I think that's what we're going to go with. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he also sent us something special with them here. And as you can see, these are all in plastic. The shell came in plastic too. Everything came all packaged separately and all beautiful like this. I've already opened it up and kind of played around with it. He sent us these two little charms to go with it. We've got a Triceramon, and who's that, Devi-Dude?
Devimon!
And a Devimon. So here, Devimon for you, and I'm going to keep the Triceramon for me. And let's actually just pull these out of the package and just get a better look at them, the red and the black together. They look awesome.
This would be good for my device.
It is. I'm working on making a custom Devimon device for Devi-Dude where I'm painting Devimon on it. I've got it all painted up red and black and white and all. It's turning out really awesome. But that'd be great if we put that on there.
Yeah.
So this was our original concept idea.
And also put this on it.
Yeah, we're going to put that Devimon on there too. So this was our original concept idea for colors here. But like I said, he thought the black might just look better, and I am agreeing with him. The black is the way to go on this. Black buttons, black frame on this red fading the black shell here. I think it's awesome.
Nice. This guy is so nice.
Oh yes, I agree. And like I said, super nice guy to talk to. We went back and forth for a while on concept ideas on what he's able to do. Bought the babies over there playing again, over on what he's able to do for us, and all the color combinations, different things, different graphics type of stuff. And this is what we came up with as our signature special Nightmare Soldier device we're going to make. All right. So, with that, there's only a couple other things I want to do. I want to give out big shout outs to everybody on Instagram and Discord who helped me go back and forth with how to repair this device, and the pendulum mechanism in particular is what I was having a little bit of trouble with at first because it's the first time I've actually took one apart to repair. I've done basic cleanups on them, but I've never done a full restoration or anything like this. Talking about how to get the black spots out of the screen there. I ended up, like I said, just getting another broken device and using that for parts. And I just have another screen now I'm just going to use instead. So now, shout outs again. Just major thank yous to everybody who was able to help me. Thank you to my friend Henry for giving me this amazing device. And I want to give it the love and care that it deserves. So I've been taking my time and spending months to collect all the parts I needed and talking to everybody to do this right and to honor the device that you had sent me. Once again, big shout outs to Electronic Days for making this absolutely stellar shell for us here. It's amazing beyond what I even expected. Once again, check out his Instagram and Etsy shop there. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you gigablast that like button and
touch a bell on the subscribe button.
If you want more Digitastic content from us, we love it. We appreciate it. And now that is going to be the end for right now, because I'm going to actually do all this work when Dude and Bot-Baby go to bed, so I can sit down and have it done. And then you'll wake up to the device pretty much finished.
Yep, and so look how much detail this has.
I know, it looks so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's so nice when it's done that. All right, guys, I'll get back to you in a little bit. All right, guys, so we are back at it. Dude and Bot-Baby are asleep. I've got some time to myself now, and I'm going to work on it. We're just going to take another look at this case here, just because of how beautiful it is, and how that red goes all the way up into the black there. And honestly, the light down here just doesn't do it justice. And I can't wait to have it all done and to be able to bring it outside and show it to you guys. So I'm just going to move these parts out of the way, make a little room. I've got all my tools. I've got my whole toolkit here. Some isopropylene alcohol for cleaning up. And various cotton swabs here for just a little cleaning. I got my lifter tools and pokers here to get things in place, because I've got large fingers and it makes it just a bit easier. All right, so while I'm at it here, I am just going to do some cleanup on it too. Since I have it, I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to do some cleanup with the isopropylene alcohol on the connections here, right where the pendulum part connects, and on the battery connection, since I have it open here. And I've got to reconnect this wire when I'm all done, but just kind of move that out of the way. Be careful with it. And just get in here and just kind of work it around a bit and just kind of clean up the areas. It is old. These things sit around. Sometimes the batteries are left in them. It'll just cause a little bit of corrosion, and this will just help your devices in general last longer for anybody to kind of do this stuff here. This is just all part of general maintenance. So I'm actually just gonna skip through as I do this and have it done here for you guys in just a sec. Alright, I've got it looking a little better. It's not super neat. I can do more on it, honestly, but it'll do for now. So I've already got all the screws taken out of it here, and I've had it exposed and open for a while just to get to everything I need, because have been trying to work on it here. So I'm just going to pull this out, and I'll show you guys how to put where everything goes on the reassemble part. And it just pops right out once all the screws are done. You can see here where it's broken and been repaired in the past. And I'm just gonna pop out this old screen, and we are going to set that off to the side for now and switch over to the new case here. And I'm going to pop in this fantastic black one here, which fits and looks beautiful. And then I'm going to just put in the black buttons. All right, so we're going to go with my new screen here, and we are going to set that down in place. There we go. Then I'm just going to remove the backing and the Nightmare Soldier background there, and you can see the light damage to this screen. So I'm just going to put that off to the side for now.
just set the background and set that piece in place. And then now set my my board into the shell. Honestly, I should first, before I do anything else, just put this piece in, because it will be a pain if I don't, because it has to slide in these grooves here. So spin that around, set that. There we go. Set back that back down. And then I'm going to now screw in the screws that hold the board into place. The screws that actually hold the board into place are these, it's hard to see on my fingers here, but these super tiny screws here are actually the same ones that screw into the back of the shell here. So even if you get them mixed up, it's all right. They're the same exact size. And you'll need a standard Phillips size 1 screwdriver for this one. And they actually just go in these holes right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's what holds the board into place. And then these ones, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what actually these ones are going to screw into. I highly recommend using magnetic tipped screwdrivers. Because it just makes it simpler. And just snug is all you want. And go in a crisscross pattern just so everything lines up right and tightens down smoothly is what I also recommend. And by the way, this custom shell so far has been, everything's fit amazing. Putting these in, I have run into no problems, no snags. Like the screws are going in super smooth. Oops. Screws are going in super smooth with no issues at all. You guys can see me here. I am putting in little to no effort here to get these in. And everything that I've used here, except for the shell itself and the buttons obviously, are all, oops, I went in a little bit of an angle on that one, are all original pendulum parts from another pendulum, like I said. So innards working here, this is an original pendulum here, all the parts. Okay, so now that I got that in, let's put in the part here that the pendulum actually hits. And let's just take a second. This has got these super, super tiny like micro screws here. And let's just take a second here to clean up this a little bit, just to make sure that's nice. All right, I'll be back in just a sec, guys. Bit cleaner and nicer. And this part is going to go right here. And it's actually, this screw is actually going to go screw in through the board and into the shell, being another screw that's going to help hold the shell, the board into the shell. And this one, we're going to actually use a Phillips 000 screwdriver for these super tiny screws. And regretfully, my 000 is not magnetic. And it's not it just adds a little bit more difficulty, but it's slid right into place. And like I said, this shell is beautifully made and is going, it went right into place and is going super smooth. So, okay, so now we got that screw back into place. I actually bought this whole toolkit here, computer repair toolkit, just for this screwdriver, just for this bit here, so I can get these screws out. There's another one I'm going to need it for that goes in right here to rebuild the pendulum part. But the only thing I ever use it for is my pendulums here. Okay, so let's get down to that now. Here is the actual pendulum itself. That's going to go right in here. But before I get to that, I'm actually going to do some cleanup work on here. You can see right here, it's got some tarnish on it from smacking into this piece for all these years. So I'm just going to do a little cleanup on this also, since I have it all open, mine as well, right? I want it to be as beautiful and as working in as perfect condition as I can. All right, as you guys can see here, if I can get us to focus, not so great, but I got a lot of that tarnish off and we are looking much better now. So this pin here is going to go into this spot right here, sliding the pendulum into place, looking more like a pendulum once again. Okay, so the next piece we're going to need is, if I could actually get it out with my large fingers here, makes it a little difficult. Don't always recommend dumping all of your parts out, but best way for me to get it here is this little face platey thing right here, which then is going to go right in here. Now that I grabbed my tweezers and I got that piece into place, now I need to put this one on. And this is going to go right in here like this. And I'm actually going to grab this screw, which is the same type of screw we just put in that pendulum mechanism here, that we just rebuilt, and need that 000 again. There we go. Looking more like a pendulum once again. All right, now this part is a pain in the tush. Reconnecting this spring right here, and it is a pain. It actually goes around here to this hook, and anyone will always tell you, if you are cleaning up your pendulums, try not to disconnect that spring. It is a pain to get it on and off, and I will absolutely agree and attest to that. All right, with a lot of work and a ton of patience, I got the spring back on. I've got this little arm back up into place where it belongs up here. And yeah, that is an absolute nightmare to get that tiny spring back on, especially with, like I said, my large fingers here. So I also highly recommend, when you are cleaning these, do not take that spring off if you can, because it is a nightmare to get on and off. All right, so the last thing I need to do here is actually pop these off to be able to get to the speaker here in order to swap over the shell. These are actually just plastic that's been melted into place here to kind of hold this speaker down. So I'm just going to get in here and pop these out, and then use a lifter tool which is just a flat edge here that I have. I have actually a couple of them. This one's kind of got more of a groove to it. But just use a lifter tool to come up to the edge here and just gently work the speaker out. I got the speaker removed now. So we are officially out of the old shell. The only things I have left to do on this is, you see there's a little pin I have right here stuck to my finger that actually goes right here, and that's what the keychain goes on. That little hook goes into there. I really like the keychain attachments here for the pendulums versus the DMs, with it being on the outside there, because they do break off a lot easier on the DMs. And here with the pendulums, it just makes it a lot nicer and easier and a little sturdier in my opinion. I'll actually take this out. I don't need this case anymore, which theirs only came with one screw. Again, I can't say how much I love this shell, but he even included the screws for it too. It's not even just like he gave me the battery case, like obviously part of the shell here, but he even included screws, and mine was missing one screw and the other one was a little stripped. So I was gonna buy new screws for it or try to pull it off one of the parts one I got, but then I saw that this one came with it, so I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. So what I have left to do now is to glue the speaker down into place. Actually, yep. Glue the speaker into place. There's just a little dab of glue on each side I'm going to put in there. And to solder this wire back into place right there. And then the device will be done. All I have to do is then flip it shut, put the little keychain peg back in, put the keychain in, flip it shut, and put in those last 4 screws on the outside and batteries, and it'll be done. All right, so let's actually glue that into place. I have my favorite super glue right here. It comes out jelly and therefore very easy to keep into place and to apply on where you want it. And dries super hard and incredibly fast. So I'm actually going to open up a brand new one, and it's got this fancy twisty top here to break the little seal on the inside. Turn it one way and then there. Yep, and you can see it a little bit there, gel coming out. So I'm just going to put a little dab right there and a little dab right there. Twist my lid back on and then use my fancy lifter tool to hold it down in place. Just kind of spread that glue around a little bit. All right, so this glue dries super fast. It's already in place and not going anywhere. And I think it'll be a little fun to just test this out a little bit. So let's see if we can get some sound. All right, so we got sound. So I didn't screw up the speaker. That's good. And the only thing left to do now, like I said, is to solder this wire back down to here and then just close it shut. Put those last 4 screws in, and then this device will be done. And hopefully I did everything right. Keep our fingers crossed. I'll be having this beautiful new device. And of course, don't forget the keychain. I always forget the keychains. And then I always have to go back and put them back in. All right, guys, I'm not actually very good at soldering, but my father is. So I'm actually going to take this to him and have him solder it for me. That last wire. And then we'll be back with you guys to show off the final finished product. Thanks for sticking around.
All right, guys. So we have finished now our restoration / custom here, Nightmare Soldier. So let's check out how we did, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think, Debbie Dude? How'd we do?
Awesome.
Yeah, honestly, this screen looks really good on here. Everything is working. I do have some fading here, about 3 pixels wide, going through the screen, which is just the screen I use, but honestly, it's the littlest thing to me. Let's hear the sound. Everything is working perfectly there. Let's check out that pendulum, see how I did. Mega hit! There we go. Honestly, this was the biggest, most difficult thing restoration work I've ever done here. This thing turned out amazingly. I'm so proud of it and the work we put into it here. What do you think of it, Debbie Dude?
Awesome.
Yeah, he's been playing with it nonstop since we finished it. He woke up to it pretty much done. And then this morning we went over to my dad's house and my dad soldered that wire back on. I put it back together. Honestly, this thing has been amazing. This has been the most work I've ever done on a device before. It's been so difficult. While I was working on it, I was so nervous not to mess something up on the interior there. Because I completely, as you guys saw, went through the entire thing. Like every screw, everything pretty much came apart. And I put it all back together. This is honestly like a holy grail item for us. This is one item that we've been searching and hunting down. And I am so thankful to have it. I'm thankful to everyone out there in the Digimon community that was able to help bring this to us. It took me about almost 3 months between tracking down parts and talking to people on how to figure out how to do it. And I am just blown away with how it turned out. What do you think of it, Debbie Dude?
Awesome!
Debbie Dude has been loving this device, and is basically I've been having to pry it out of his hands in order just to look at it myself here. So with that, again, just special thanks out to Henry, Electronic Days, the Instagram, my friends on Instagram, the Discord groups, everybody out there, thank you very much. And I think it's time for a Digi-Duel! Okay, so today's Digi-Duel is against Mr. Matt and his super awesome Ancient Wisemon and Rust Tyrannomon there. And by the way, bro, I am really digging that color combo you got on your DM there. That is a sweet little mod. So, Debbie Dude and I talked it over. I want to battle the Wisemon with my Barbamon X. And Debbie Dude is going to battle your Rust Tyrannomon with your... Alright, so let's make this happen. Alright, if you guys want to be featured on a Digi-Duel, let me know. Hit me up in Instagram, the comments, shoot me an email. We'd love to battle you guys. Challenge us with a Alpha Terminal code. Let us know who you want to battle or anything in particular you guys have. Alright, with that, we wish you have a Digi-tastic day. And as always, love from my family to yours. For Christ's sakes, Debbie Dude! Ah!